morning, class.
Good morning.
Today we're going to read a story called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. Now we're going to go ahead and preview the story by looking at the cover, and also when you look at the back cover, because sometimes we forget to look at the back cover, and sometimes there's pictures and some clues and some words on the back, and we're going to also preview some pictures before we read the story. So let's go ahead and look at the front cover. What do you see?
A mouse.
A mouse.
And cookies.
Cookies. What, does a mouse look sad?
Happy.
Happy, you're right. What do you see on the back?
Cookies.
Cookies, shoes, and some crayons, and maybe a paper. I wonder what he's going to do with those paper and crayons, and the cookie. Now, before we read our story, let's go ahead and talk about some vocabulary words that are on the board. We have the word notice. What do you think the word notice means?
To be aware or to pay attention. Yes.
Pay attention, that's a good word. What about trim?
To cut.
To cut something. What about the word probably?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Might. Something that might happen.
And what about the word pair?
Something has to do with two.
Two, like whenever I pair you in groups, I pair you, or with a partner, I pair you with, it's two people together. And what about the word sweep?
To clean.
To clean.
The broom.
With the broom, that's good, because we use a broom to sweep. Okay, let's go ahead and read our, preview our story real quick before we read it. Let's look at the very first page. What do you see?
A boy with the cookie.
A boy with a cookie, and it's kind of hard, but you see the little itty bitty mouse right here in the corner. What do you think the boy's trying to do with the cookie?
Make the mouse to go toward him.
Make the mouse go towards him with the cookie. Okay. What about right here? What do you see?
The mouse looks full.
He looks full. I wonder what he drank, since there's a straw and a glass right behind him. That might give you some clues.
Maybe milk. It has white stuff.
You're right.
Crumbs in the bottom.
There's cookie crumbs. Maybe he ate some cookies and drank some milk. That sounds good to me. What about right here?
There's a lot of dirt. He's sweeping.
Yeah. He's sweeping, and that reminds us of one of our vocabulary words, sweep. So we'll have to look out for that one. Okay. What about right here? What do you see?
He's drawing a picture.
He's drawing a picture. And he's using those crayons and that piece of paper we saw in the front and the back cover of our book. Let's go to the very back of our book and look at the last page. What is going on?
The mouse is eating cookies. And the boy, he looks like he's asleep or something.
The boy looks like he's asleep. I think he looks tired. I wonder what that mouse did to him that made him so tired.
Cleaned a lot.
Maybe they cleaned a lot. That's good. Now I need you to think about, while I read the story to you, I need you to think about the beginning of a story and the end of a story. We were talking about a strategy called circular sequencing. What do you think that might mean?
Circle.
Circle.
Repeating.
It keeps repeating, it goes around in a circle. That's very good. So let's go ahead and read our story. It's called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie by Laura Duff Numeroff, illustrated by Felicia Bond. So when you think about illustrated by Felicia Bond, that means that she drew the pictures, and Laura Duff Numeroff, she wrote the story. So together, they made this beautiful story. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to ask for a glass of milk. When you give him the milk, he'll probably ask you for a straw. When he's finished, he'll ask for a napkin. Now let's go ahead and stop right here. We see one of our vocabulary words, probably. So you're right. He'll maybe ask for a straw, which I think he did, since the picture he shows that he drank some milk. Then he'll want to look in a mirror to make sure he doesn't have a milk mustache. When he looks into the mirror, he might notice his hair needs a trim. So he'll probably ask you for a pair of nail scissors. So right here we see three of our vocabulary words. We see notice, trim, and pair. So you write about your predictions about what those words mean. When he's finished giving himself a trim, he'll want a broom to sweep up. He'll start sweeping. He might get carried away and sweep every room in the house. So you're right, sweep is pretty much cleaning up the dirt with a broom, and that's what he's doing. I think he's getting too carried away and clean up every room in the house. He may even end up washing the floors as well. When he's done, he'll probably want to take a nap. have to fix him up a little box for him with a blanket and a pillow. He'll crawl in, make himself comfortable, and fluff the pillow for a few times. He'll probably ask you to read him a story. So you'll read to him from one of your books, and he'll ask to see the pictures. When he looks at the pictures, he'll get so excited, he'll want to draw one of his own. He'll ask for a paper and crayons. He'll draw a picture. When the picture is finished, he'll want to sign his name with a pen. Then he'll want to hang his picture on your refrigerator, which means he'll need Scotch tape. He'll hang up his drawing and stand back to look at it. Looking at the refrigerator will remind him that he's thirsty. So he'll ask for a glass of milk. And chances are, if he asks for a glass of milk, he's going to want a cookie to go with it. So, what happened at the beginning and at the end of the story?
The same thing.
The same thing. So what did he do?
He ate a cookie and milk.
And he ate a cookie and he had some milk. So we're gonna have these strips on in your groups, and you're gonna have pictures to go along with it. You need to read the story by yourself, and then you're going to try to put the story in sequence. And I want you to use the pictures as well, and you need to glue them on the corresponding blank. Now, if you get stuck and you don't know if the passage is in the right spot, you can always go back to your book as a reference to go ahead and help you put that story in sequence. And then I'm also going to have you do your own story, just like if you give a mouse a cookie. You're going to choose an animal. It can be something besides a mouse. Try to do something different besides a mouse and a cookie. You can use a dog, a cat, a giraffe, a penguin, anything. You can do a food item to begin and end, and in the middle you can use different household items you see. Now right here, we're going to do this together. If you want to go ahead and help me, if you give a mouse a cookie, if you give a mouse, what is he going to want?
Maybe give a mouse a piece of cheese.
A piece of cheese? Then he'll probably want
Maybe something to drink or
maybe some
soda.
soda. That's good. We all like soda. Okay, now let's do one more. If you give a mouse ice cream. Ice cream. Then he'll probably want
Maybe a napkin to clean.
a napkin to clean himself. A napkin. So go ahead and start reading the story on your own, and then you need to put these passage strips in order, and then you're going to have to go ahead and make your own story by yourself as well.